More visitors? I don't know how many more of these pests I can disintegrate. Ah, what remains of the bounty hunters have found me. Now it is time to cue the detonation sequence.
Tonos imaragith, wanara korachi drumta sa inchobin sasha, tosimana rachata. Taranamo sibu and dasarans, crema sunkun ratungala, chawi mo jubu.
More where that came from. That's another one for me. More where that came from. Mechana creve mopa. Tamasuna ramga mak chojane. Anta scream sochin.
Not again.
Kavadumpe masuraku popayi.
Ladies, what you need is a man who understands the two of you and understands your needs.
Kawana bota tagwa kanka. The upobotenyo go jucho picha. Gwen tabani so.
I was kind of hoping that mating with scruffy humans might have been the first on that list.
The upobotenyo go jucho picha. Gwen tab.
Run? I didn't run from you two shuttas last time, and this time I'm gonna make sure you stay down. Where that came from? I hear you.
Ready? Good to go. I can't believe we just blew up Godo's yacht. That's gonna destabilize crime throughout this whole sector.
Yeah, well, you'll understand if I hold back the tears.
You don't understand. Crime in the YouTube system, it's like the economy. Plus the power vacuum. Even if Voga gets up and running again, the system is going to be feeling the effects for years to come.
Yeah, well, at least we didn't find that Jedi Master with the weird name. Zez, Kai, whatever it is.
Zez Kyle? Well, that's not true. I already found him. Actually, he found me first. He hired me to watch out for you, keep Kotor off your back, until he could meet with you. We'll need to head back to Nar Shaddaa, to that safe house off the docks. I said I'd meet up with him there if we ran into any trouble. What do you want now?
If you thought to escape my notice so easily, you would be wrong. As a token of my goodwill, I present to you a gift, this droid. It will serve you well on your journey. I'm afraid I do not understand what you mean. As I indicated, this unit will remain with you and guard you. It will also serve as an effective voice for my orders during your journey. I cannot harm you. You are the key to saving the Republic. Pray that you do not prove yourself otherwise.
So, you have returned from exile. Kavar thought you might, if only to wander your old battlegrounds. But I did not think you would come to Nar Shaddaa. Still, you were always a difficult one to read, both when you were tied to the Force, and even more when it was lost to you. I do not know. It was a sense he had, and he had served in war, as you had. Perhaps he thought he understood you. Or maybe he simply hoped he did. He felt you were the key to understanding the threat we face. The others were not so certain, but so many of them are gone now, as you no doubt know. He sensed some connection between you and many of the worlds touched by war. He thought by traveling to such places, he could achieve understanding. No doubt. I think the answers will provide us both with some measure of peace. I have kept secrets for far too long. They have scattered, but there is purpose in their movements. It is both to hunt and draw out our enemies. Somehow, we, are being targeted through the Force, and when Jedi gather, we are vulnerable. So we have chosen places where it is difficult to sense others through the Force, whether on planets dense with life, or touched by war. In such places, we may conceal ourselves, gather information, without presenting ourselves as targets. It was part of Kavar's plan. Yes, he felt if our enemy cannot detect us, then perhaps they would believe themselves victorious and show themselves. And we knew that the war would be lost if we continued to act as we had. I do not know where they wander now. There are few of us, though. Too few. And I have not heard from them in some time. Atris, but I had thought she had gone to Kotor with the others. Yes, she holds the last of the Jedi teachings. It is good she survived. What I can tell you, I will. It is a long story, but there is no harm in you knowing. And someone should know. Only a handful of us remained after the Jedi Civil War, barely 100 in number. Then, even that 100 began to vanish, in places where the Force seemed blind. The only pattern we determined is that when Jedi gathered, they were seen no more. At the last Jedi conclave on the Miraluka world of Kotor, the entire planet was wiped out. An entire race destroyed, because the Jedi chose to gather there. It was only then that we realized we were facing something far more powerful than we knew how to fight. We could not allow the fact that when we gathered, we placed everything around us at risk. A Jedi's life is sacrifice, but we cannot allow our presence or actions to endanger others. And we cannot fight an enemy that will not reveal itself. But any Jedi, anyone who was strong in the Force, who attempted to track down such a threat, vanished without a trace. I know little about it. I know more of the absence it leaves behind than its face. Whatever this threat was, it was targeting us and everything around us. Yet it was somehow weak enough that it was afraid to confront us openly. If it believed us defeated, then perhaps it would finally show itself. It was a faint hope, but it was the best we had. It was Kotor's plan. He was always the greatest tactician among us, and had seen war more than the rest of us. Very well. We told you it was because you followed Revan to war, but you ask because you are not certain of that answer, nor were we. The day we cast you out, that is the moment I decided to leave the Order, because I do not believe we truly faced the reasons you were exiled, and if we do not examine such truths, then we are already lost. I think it was because we were afraid. It is a difficult thing to live one's life with the Force. To see a vision of what it would be like to be severed from it, it is more frightening than you know. Very well. I had thought perhaps that here upon the Smuggler's Moon, I might find some evidence of the threat we faced. The bounties on Jedi and their disappearance. I did not believe the two were connected, but there was a chance. And the strong currents of life here on Nar Shaddaa make perceiving a Force user difficult. I could use it to cloak my movements and watch without being discovered. Very well. Is that what you think? We did no such thing, but it is a technique that has been used as punishment in the past, yes. It is a rare sentence, and to my knowledge it has only been done once, at a moment where a Jedi discipline has failed. What caused your loss, I fear, was different. I am not certain I understand it. We did not understand it fully then, and only recently do I feel we may have become enlightened. The other masters may have more knowledge of this, but I do not, and I do not know if they even live. Does it matter? It seems your power has returned. Perhaps the loss was not a loss at all. Very well. Ah, so the records of your trial were found. Good. Sometimes I think this galaxy would be a better place if there were less Jedi secrets. But I have no answer for you, as much as I would like to give one. We vowed never to speak of it. And although I would not keep promises to Jedi, I keep promises I make to others. And Kotor was a friend. If we were gathered as one, then the promise might be revoked. Until then, I can say nothing. Very well. Yes, such bonds are a connection that can be formed at moments of crisis, or in the slow understanding that grows between master and apprentice. It is most common between two beings who are sensitive to the Force. It allows the transmission of feelings, of influence. It was something you were gifted with, as I recall, before your fall. You formed such attachments easier than most, even to those who could feel the Force only faintly. Even Vrook could not ignore it, which is saying something. I do not know. A bond between two living beings is not something easily broken. It is not a choice. It is like breaking a feeling, like turning away from the Force. To break a bond, your feelings would have to change, or one of you would have to die. But even then, the bond wouldn't go away. It would simply be empty, a wound. Very well. Yes, it was even. That is most unusual and unnatural. I have never heard of a bond of such strength. There were a few within the Order who knew more than I did of such bonds, but their students were few, lost in the Mandalorian Wars. It was rumored that Revan studied such bonding deeply, both through the Jedi histories and with certain teachers, before he left the Order and went to war. I do not know. A bond between two living beings is not to break a bond. Now I must take up the role I was ready to cast aside. This threat has finally revealed itself, and we Jedi will need to stand together. I did not speak fully of what I have felt. Staying on Nar Shaddaa, it is an exile of sorts, one that I have chosen. I, too, lost a Padawan on Malachor, not to the battle, but to the alternative, to the teachings that Revan brought from the unknown regions. And I was not the only Jedi Master to watch a student turn on them. No, they were not to blame, but many of the Order did so. It was a difficult time, a time of strong emotion. Perhaps the Council, perhaps the Order itself, had grown arrogant in their teachings. It is easy to cast blame, but it is perhaps time the Order accepted responsibility for their teachings and their arrogance, and come to recognize that perhaps we are flawed. Not once did I hear one of the Council claim responsibility for Revan, for Exar Kun, for Ulic, for Malak, or for you. Yet, you were the only one who came back from the wars to face our judgment. And rather than attempting to understand why you did what you did, we punished you instead. Our one chance to see where we had gone wrong, and we cast it aside. And now, that decision has come back to us and may carry with it our destruction. Perhaps there is something wrong in us, in our teachings, and though I tried, I could not cause that thought to leave me, so I left the Council. And I was not the only one. That is why many scattered, and why many in the Republic do not trust us, and why we do not trust ourselves. Make no mistake, I am no Jedi. This is the end, you see. After this, there will be nothing, and I think it will be for the best. Do you wish to do battle now? I have nothing more to say. It provides no comfort at all, for reasons in which I still must keep secret. Suffice to say, redemption was not Revan's choice, and I have never believed those of the Council who attempt to console themselves otherwise for the crime they committed. But we have spoken enough, I think. In words I think dull us both. Let us speak through the Force, through sparring. This is a long war, I fear, with many battles left to fight. You will need to conserve your strength when using the Force, if you hope to make it through the long road ahead. This form heightens your affinity to the Force, allowing you to gather your strength faster, even in the midst of combat. Perhaps exile has been good to you indeed. It has certainly not dulled your instincts, nor the speed at which you learn. I shall go to Dantooine, to the ruins of the Enclave. If you gather the others, I will meet you there. And thank you, Exile. You are returning. It is good that you are back among us.
Ready?
My life for yours. I will answer what I can.
Ready?
I thought we already went over. You're not going to survive long on Nar Shaddaa. Now get out of here.
Unnecessary annoying recitation. Let us proceed to facilitate communications. Recitation, and bring about the termination of hostilities.
You interrupting me for a reason? I have a lot of work to do, to manage here, right? So, what is it? Pylon power supply badly damaged. Only can support one pylon at a time. Can't bring freighters in fast enough. You help bring freighters in. Maybe FASA can help you later, huh? You help first. Maybe we talk about it later. Good, good. I give you basic access to Pylon consoles. From Pylon, you can read ID signature of freighters. You figure out what order the 3 freighters should dock. Freighter with higher first 2 numbers has higher priority. If first 2 numbers tied, then higher last 3 numbers has higher priority. For example, P-11-115-999 has lower priority than D-15-154-111. You got it? One more thing. First two numbers are always the same as the first two numbers in the second set of numbers. You can read freighter ID from pylons, but hard to get full signature ID from each pylon. Use a pylon power console near me to change which pylon is powered up. You go check ID signatures from each pylon, and then you assign priorities to the 3 freighters. You help faster. I not forget. Now why you bother me again? What? Do I look like a passenger ship to you? Ah, all right. You help me, I help you. Fine, I'll do for you. But don't ask of Fasa again. What else?
Ulga kilibut maleanuis. Cicis kabela, tapi cayubong, yun bela, bograkinun chubagrat wikili joni, wichi bola no. Cicis kabela, tapi cayubong, yun bela, chopitiman punjame. Sashange bedwana mulera, chupawanga kuna konticha, watagrito gjimulira.
Yeah, something wrong? Talk. About what? Why, you trying to be my father? No thanks. Already had one. Somewhere. Are you sure you're a Jedi? Look, you're way too... I mean, you're really... Besides, you already... Look, if we... You're sweet... It's more than... Run away. Go ahead. I've killed people before, but not if I don't have to. I know. It's different. I don't know why. I don't know. I haven't killed anyone for a long time. But when I'm around you, suddenly it's like I've always been doing it. It's like a reflex. I don't like it. And I don't know when or why it became so easy. Shoot. Made it. It's custom for me, which is... I can show you how to make rocket... Anything else you wanted to know? Alright. Yeah, more or less. I wasn't born... Well, the war happened. It's what happened. Think so. Me? Take a guess, Jedi. Only 2 groups of people would have lost family at Malachor. And Jedi don't have families. As much as any slave becomes a Mandalorian. They took prisoners on every world they conquered to bolster their ranks. And they took a lot of worlds. When I was young, yeah. They mostly used me to carry ammo packs and munitions. Toward the end of the war, they needed everyone they could get. They taught me to fight, to hunt, to survive. I was part of their squad, even when I was young. Everyone served as part of the unit, and I felt like I had a place there. After Malachor, it really didn't matter anymore. The Mandalorians lost. Bad. But you know that. Yeah, I know. I saw the worlds they left behind them during the war. That kind of stays with you, I haven't forgotten it. What happened at Malachor, they probably deserved it. Should I be? Maybe I should ask you if you're happy about all the Jedi who died on Malachor 5. Maybe it felt like you lost family there, but I doubt it. Yeah, I know. I saw that kind of stays with you. Go ahead. I'm good at finding people. Not if you know your target. And this is... You know your target. You can... I'm gonna... Shoot. I don't really want to get into it any more than I have. Maybe some other time. Besides, you've asked enough questions already.
Greetings. This is your order. We only purchase droids from sanctioned traders. If you wish...
Unnecessary observation. Targets acquired. Annoying recitation. Let us proceed to facilitate communications. Recitation. And bring about the termination of hostilities.
Herete pa chasa borta. Chris socha wentense me punta. Lorcha wata yuma ni. Hodanga yuma des. Dak bota no chi tagwa ita. Jun sobe me rapa, no kuma randisa mak chiksa. Kucha bak tong kinka mata kata. Chopa wanga kun not kat yutka kes. Wamba wamba siso misum kun rakawak. Wamba wamba siso misum kun rakawak.
Yeah, something wrong?
So, you have the look of a seasoned spacer about you. What backwash you looking for? Well, honestly, there's not much for people like you and I to do around here. If you, catch my meaning. Well, our kind isn't exactly the majority on this planet. Well, there is plenty for them to do. The Pazak Den, swoop races, the Tar, they're pretty much taken care of. Yeah, the Pazak Den is a glorified social club for hardline Pazak players. It's exclusive, though, with a guard at the door and a password needed to simply get in. Don't know why you'd want to get into that place. Bunch of Firaxa sharks will strip you clean of your credits, especially the champ. He only shows up to play people he deems worthy enough. You'd just have to beat about everyone in that place before he'd even think of coming out of hiding. Ah, don't bother with Lupo's racing gallery. The track's deadly and the betting's awful. Borna Liz keeps threatening to take the place over and run it right. But I don't see how she could. Now there's a place that's literally deadly for our kind. Tar is a bar filled with cyanogen gas. It's poisonous to you and I, but the aliens drink it up and pay good money to do so. The cyanogen gas also acts as a social buffer, since the people who typically frequent Tar aren't interested in speaking to the likes of you and I in the first place.
Tarachomo sincho kavavol muliji gumanarminta barawamba michedos. Kapunta chiwita inka kikray dovre kun miliwosa slima. Kawana bota yunta tanga kinamatura tayaita tabosananansata chone mulera. Tonkinge bano jansaka nikaraska. Tanchanik de mau que chubo grayo bog no cada itapa. Kawana bota yunta tanga kinamatura. Tayay kavadumpa munsuru kupla liyawa. Boba.
No.
Tonghite mosi jochia yumba litawa. Ta come tag plaia justing miki gongo beaste kun grabi la king no mulara kichi kuta da hupa bossa curata go jujuto yoke hiata yamba wajiake yukito tune.
Wait 1 second. I refuse to participate in this. I'm not dancing for some slobbering overgrown slug.
Kawana bota yunta tanga kinama.
Do not volunteer me so easily. There are certain favors that I would not perform even for you. And especially not for a hut. Find another way. Yes, that will be fine.
Tawancha morichiwa, mufalawa ni bobo.
My life for yours. I will answer what I can. It is not a sub... I've heard tales of but do not mistake.
Inwamagro, Meirangana Noluja. Inwamagro, Meirangana Noluja.
Finish. Fingalax. Relieva con Mendoza. Manchocarle. Relieva con Mendoza. Finish.
I'm good to go.
Finish.
My life is yours.
I'm good to go.
My life is yours.
Finish.